GM, welcome to the third edition of AI June. This one's going to be a fun one. This is where the coders get to show off their skills, and we have a couple of teams presenting as well. With no further ado, let's just dive into it. Rohan is going to start the show, so let's get this party started. I'll put 5 minutes on the clock, Rohan, and you can start whenever you want.
All right. Hi everyone. So basically the presentation that I've prepared is actually from the workflows that I've been going through to build LLM agents. And what I've realized is actually there's a misunderstanding about how these things work and what they're good at and what they're bad at. So I think I want to showcase the entire workflow through which you can build really effective agents, really effective orchestrators or planners for the set of things you want LLMs to do. So I'll share this Miro board that everyone can use, but this seems to be the emerging stack that everyone's using currently for building LLM agents. So you have like contextual data, which is built this way. You have your orchestrator, which is the LLM itself, which makes the plan of what actions to execute and what tools to use. And maybe like a easier version of it is something I've built with examples where you basically send a query, let's say something like, what is the market cap of Uniswap divided by the total market cap of like the DeFi market? Like it could be any query. The thing is that a lot of times, obviously the chat GPT or the large language models don't have access to current data. Neither do they have access to ways to calculate math. They're really terrible at math or even coding, really. They're good at they're good at planning what to do, but not exactly executing. And so therefore this is how it works. You build a prompt maker through which you build a prompt, tell it that these are the tools you can use, these are the questions, and how to think about something. Like keep having a thought, observation, and cycle. So that's how you build a prompt. You put it onto a planner and orchestrator, which has a thought like I should find the value of the market cap of NFT or DeFi markets. Then it uses a tool which you've given it access to, puts an input, gives an observation, gives you an answer. Generally, the thing is like this is how I structure it. You have skills like either internet search or code. Within skills, you have tools like Python shell, SQL shell, Wikipedia API, Wolfram API, whatever API you want to give it. You have memories. So conversational memories, which is the chat history, and also you have the embedded vector storage, which is the contextual data about your company or about your market or whatever you wanted to know to answer through. There are a bunch of links that I've given it. The way I actually go about building it is through Langflow, which is the link I've given here, where you can actually, let's see, I built something like a Python plus Wikipedia like agent. You literally find the agent here, stick it here. It will tell you which ones, like which LLMs you need, memory tools, etc. You basically find the LLM, stick it here. It's all drag and drop. I gave it memory. I gave it two tools to access, Python and Wikipedia. And if you actually let it run, you can actually see the conversation. You can now have a chat with this API. You already have built a chatbot with all of these tools, with all of these skill sets, and you can see the thought process it's having. So let's say I asked a question, what's the factorial of 20? So you can see like how it actually went through the process. It first figured out what it needs to do. I can calculate the factorial by this way, and I should use a loop to avoid potential stack overflow. Then literally figured out which action to use. So it figured out it needs to use Python, imported the math library, gave you an answer using Python, not LLM. So now you're pretty guaranteed that the answer is right. You can even ask like, what's the age of Dr. J? Because I've given it access to Wikipedia too. So it actually goes through the Wikipedia articles, figures out, finds out the answers after going through 2 or 3 articles, gives you the thoughts, summaries, the observations that it had, and gives you an answer at the end, which is 57. I don't know if that's true actually, but I'm assuming it's true. And you can do math on top of it. So now I asked the age of Obama and then asked it to do Python math on top of it. So you can like build really, really cool agents. You can actually see, I built like a bunch of calculators. There's a community examples here, which you can like build on top of. You can actually build a very cool chatbot with, like I made it talk like Draco Malfoy, and it's giving me answers like, don't you dare disrespect me, muggle, which is interesting. What's cool is for coders that you can actually get the code out of this and take this in, stick into your I don't know, whatever. I hope you can see this too. Yeah, stick it into your whatever, like Python notebook. That's an API. Like the chatbot is already an API, so that you can call to, and you get responses back, um, like straight into your Python notebook. Now you can embed it into your websites. You can, I don't know, do whatever. So basically, this is the fastest way I figured out how to make agents, use them, make APIs, put them on your website, and give access to everybody. Also, your own PDFs and stuff, which is actually probably what will be useful for everyone. This is the memory section of what I showed you all earlier, like this whole part.
You're out of time, but you can definitely finish
I
your
built it
thought.
out here. Sorry, yeah, here, and here now I suddenly, like, I have an entire memory database, or something's not working. Let's try again. But
This
yeah,
is
I mean,
amazing.
generally now a vector database of yeah, an entire book, and now you can navigate through the book, ask questions about, um, like, who is the author, like, or at least what is, I don't know, any question that is there in the book, no matter how big the book is, it's able to now access, uh, figure out which section is relevant, send it to the agent, and ask, like, you can do question answers on top.
Wow.
Oops, I think
No,
I crossed my time.
yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. But we're in the question and answer section, and I'm just wondering, what LLMs are you using? Are you using ChatGPT 4, or like, can you just plug in a key, or are you using open source?
Oh, you have all these. You have like a bunch of options. So everything is modular. LLMs are modular. Agents are modular. Chains are modular. Everything is like drag and drop. You can change everything. Yeah.
Wow. And so this is all software that you are building right now. That's in the back in this behind the scenes.
Currently, it's ChatGPT. I mean, like, I used 3.5 Turbo. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyone else have any questions? Then let's give Rohan a round of applause. Unmute the mic and let's give that a quick clap. Holy crap. I feel like I just got a 5-minute 301 level like, introductory course on how LLMs work. Thank you for that. Uh, okay, well let's keep this party rolling. Mohammed, are you around, Mohammed? No picture.
Yeah, I'm here, and
Nice.
I share my screen. I would appreciate if you. Hey guys, I'm Mohammed, and this is my mini project for the AI June hackathon. My project is campaign coach for Giveth.io, using AI to enhance crypto donations. Um, okay, when I say campaign, I mean the project term in the Giveth.io. When a project owner or a campaign owner wants to create a project, they have some challenges. The most challenges are how they can receive more donations, how they can receive more reactions, how they can receive verified badge, because getting verified badge would bring lots of value to projects. For instance, when you have verified badge, someone when someone donates to your project, it gets rewards, so it encourages the users to donate to your project and bring your project to the homepage. And how to make sure that the campaign follows the term and conditions. So it's the some of challenges that the project owners and campaign owners have when want to create the project. Okay, AI campaign coach wants to solve those problems, wants to help you to get more donations, wants to help you uh, to get more reactions, more impacts, and help you to get verified badge. This is the some example of my demo. This is my project. It has two text box. In the left side, you write your description, and in the right side, it suggests you something to help it to make it better. For instance, I wrote a description in the left side that has spelling mistakes, and it's very summarized. It that didn't explain anything. For instance, it says just I how to feed some homeless people from Turkey. But in the right side, it says, okay, if you want to get more donations, it's better to make the text like this. You can see the right side. It's too long. I don't read it loud right now. And or for instance, another example that I showed you here, that you put your description and it helps you to improve it to get more donations. And another things that we have, it's how we want to make sure that the project follows the term and conditions. For instance, I wrote here in the left side that I want to collect money to distribute marijuana to students, and in the right side it says no, it's illegal, it's illegal, it's against our term and conditions, so you should not even create this project. So it helps you to make sure that your project is legal. It doesn't, and it's based on our term and conditions. Or another example that it says, okay, I want to organize a larger scale on sanctioned street races in our city. It says no, it's might be illegal. It make noises. It's bother the other people. So. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe my connection has problem. I don't know. My camera is on. So that's it. It's another example on how this campaign coach works. We gather some clean data about projects, campaigns, histories, and how much they received reactions, impact, and donations. For instance, I gathered the queries to database and said, yeah, this project with this description received this amount of donation. And with this history, with knowing this history, we can predict the future. So I collect the data, send this data and the user's input to the OpenAI using ChatGPT Model 4, and the ChatGPT show us some result, and I show it to the user, and we can enhance it better, how with filling with more precise data. For instance, write specific rules that we have for getting verified badge, and after that we can get the best data to use to help the campaign owners and project owners with AI tool, and it may help the community team to make their to make their work easier. Okay, I think my time is over. I just want to thank Griff and Algen for organizing all the hackathon. If you have any question, I'm here.
Yeah, that was so nice, Mohammed. Like, this is so cool. So what are the odds that we can actually add this? Like, what will it take to get it to production level for integration into the DApp?
I think we have need some UI things, because what I implemented just a single page separated from all the things, and we need to collect some precise data about how is our term and conditions, how is the lots of the documents and contents that we should provide about it, and I think that's it. We can integrate it with our DApp.
Nice. And then is there a way that we could maybe prevent people from spamming it in some way, or like make it so that people aren't abusing it and making too many calls to ChatGPT?
Yeah, we can do some rate limiting in the network layer, some DevOps things, or maybe we can just think that make sure the user is logged in, the user has an active user of our platform, not any user. We can restrict with some this data to make sure the request is real and not
Cool.
spam.
Does anyone else have any questions? Yeah, bring everyone in.
It sounds like a great idea. Would you be able, when you edit your product description, to select one of these sort of predefined checkups or queries, and then just check my description against the terms and conditions, check my description against this and that? Is that how you envision it?
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you well. I don't know. It's my end or your end connection.
Yeah, can you say it again?
I was just talking about how to integrate it into the
design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. We should ask the most ID, the UX team, UI team to help. How should we integrate it?
That's
Yeah.
super. It's super cool. Let's give a round of applause. Let's give a round of applause to Mohammed. Epic tool, making it easy for project owners, especially project owners who English isn't their native language. They can just come in here and have an epic description. And now next is Christopher. So Christopher, take it away.
Thanks. So yeah, I'm Christopher, one of the co-founders of Praise, and I'd like to talk a little bit about AI-generated org charts. This is something we have been talking about for a long time, that it would be cool to see if we can use Praise to generate that. I guess you all have seen these charts from Sobol, maybe some time that they are really cool and useful, but they're a headache to update because everything is updated mostly manual and so. So if we promise that we give communities their memory back and the information about who did what and when and to what impact. And the starting point for this exploration has been, if we know all this information that we claim that we know, then we should be able to use that information, right? To draw a chart about of how the organization looks. So just a quick refresher on how the praise data looks. This is what we have to work with. We have the praise information and we have the impact score layer. And when we look at these praise items, we see that most of the information already is written out there in the praise description. So we have some community work there at the top, 2 items, and then a praise marker for presenting praise. That is a definite sort of like a marketing thing he's doing. Praise Tam for supporting me in something that is almost like an HR task, and Praise Vitalik for inventing Ethereum, which is clearly some kind of research and development going on. So if we can get a large language model to identify these correctly, then we might be able to turn this into an org chart. So I've done this in 2 steps. I have not used LangChain or any of these other orchestration tools. So this is just straight up hacked using OpenAI and ChatGPT. And the first step is to identify what type of contributions there are. So I've instructed ChatGPT to look through a list of praise and identify 10 main categories and 5 subcategories. So then output that as JSON data. I have sort of pushed the OpenAI to the limits of what it can generate in terms of structured data. It could generate like 1 or 2 levels of structured JSON, but when you add a third layer, it starts to hallucinate. And then a second thing to do is to match each member to one or more category. So similarly there, I take a bunch of praise and I ask the AI to look at these praise, find for each member, identify up to 3 categories that they belong to based on their contributions, and then it outputs this as some raw data. And finally, when we have all the categories and subcategories, and we have all the users that belong to each category, then we just merge it and try to draw this as a chart. And yeah, demo. So this is the Giveth organization according to a large language model. You're doing some development, design, project management, rewards distribution, marketing, product management. Actually, the categories and subcategories look really good. One of the limitations, or one of the difficulties in this is it's difficult to instruct the large language model to tell it like one member can only appear one time in each subcategory, because it's bad at counting, and the sort of the data set becomes too large. So you need to find another way of making sure that one member only appears at one time in each category. And then you can see that the circles or the images are also have different sizes. So it actually takes into account the impact of each contributor and each subcategory. So a person that has done significant contributions to one subcategory should have a larger image than members that have done slightly smaller contributions. And I think that's it. It's not fully production ready yet, but it's on its way. I think this could be a useful tool if we manage to clean out all these duplicates and of course when you mouse over now you get only the username. When we would instead add on the click stuff, so you can click on a user, get to their praise profile page and so on. And final thought, what would be super cool to integrate in this would be for each category and subcategory just to add a short description, like this is the work, the actual work that goes on in this community. So when you hover over a category, this is what we're doing in product management.
That's so cool. Can you break? I mean, obviously I feel like a lot of this stuff could be fixed with normal coding as opposed to AI coding. There's here's the data and then normal checks clean it up, right?
But the difficulties is identifying the categories. You can of course do stupid word counting, saying but that wouldn't be as.
So, but once the AI generates this data that you have all here, you could probably use normal coding techniques to clean it up from here, right?
Yeah, definitely. So the issue here is that we have a limited context window, and all the duplicates in the result set are preventing other members to appear, because once we run out of data, so there you can see it's only a part of the community that is included on this chart. Of course, we can run multiple queries, but if we run multiple queries, it's really difficult to do this impact assessment, because the impact scores will be different for each query. So it's ideally we would like to run it in one query, but when the context windows become larger, this will also be much easier, because then we can basically generate the result set in one query.
Yeah, nice. Does anyone have any questions for Christopher? Sam's like, why am I under translation? I'm a dev. No, yeah, I think we all know why you're under translations.
I do have something. I feel like the workflow that I highlighted, you can chain queries together, and possibly that might solve your issue. The way LangChain at least tells us to do it.
Yeah, you still run up in the end. You still run into the issue with the context windows and the inability to summarize. You might be able to summarize the summaries and to chain them together and do that kind of stuff. But then when you summarize the summaries, then you lose detail. So it's a balancing act of what is the best way forward.
Do you think you could parse it into sections? Okay, this praise data goes to this AI.
Yeah. No, we can break it up and make it into more queries instead of looking at all praise data like I'm doing now, or the last 200 items or whatever. We can do one query per user, and then we can get much more detailed information about that user. But of course, that will generate quite a lot more queries, and it's also difficult to assess the impact scores compared to others.
As an idea, maybe if you are short on the context, you can do a strategy similar to pairwise, in which you just give the AI a few options, and then you kind of mix them all together in one chart.
Oh, that's interesting. Integrating pairwise and praise. I've been waiting for this moment. But anyway, let's give Christopher a huge round of applause. That was epic. Very clearly an next killer feature for praise, the org chart. Let's throw it over to Danilo to take us away for the final coding one, and then after this we have teams.
Oh, infinite loop. All right, so yeah, my name is Danilo, and for this hackathon, I've prepared or improved something that I've been working on in regards to interspecies communication. So it's a topic of interest for me and something that has been shaping up my work lately. And so let me first actually introduce you to this here. So I've basically created a ePlan chatbot. So I am here prototyping with different hardwares for sensing what I call biodata from different living organisms. And in this case, it's a plant. And so I've designed a circuit that it's connected to the roots of this plant. We were on the theme of the day, the cannabis plant as well. And I've been getting the readings from its electric activity, as well as readings from the environment surrounding the plant. And I have the whole system up and running here. Let me try to see it. The plant's a bit different because I've done some harvesting, but it's still the same. You can probably see the whole setup as the one that is in the picture. And we are getting live data onto the most sophisticated database you can think of, a Google spreadsheet, which is very slow because it has a lot of data points. But yeah, you see here what's going on. And what I'm doing is I'm using Pandas AI. I don't know if you guys know of this, but definitely a good tool to be on the radar. So these guys have created a Python library that integrates Pandas with LLMs, basically. So I'm using Pandas AI. Here's the code that I'm using here to get or access that database that I've just shown you on the Google spreadsheet. And then, yeah, prompting, in this case, I'm using GPT-4. I'm prompting it to role play a cannabis plant. And then I'm giving information on the kind of circuit that I'm using. So here, oh, yeah, telling it what's being read in terms of its data. So yeah, it is ADC circuit, connect to your roots, 10K pull resistor, so on and so forth. And I'm using then Streamlit to kind of like bring it all together to this app here that is running locally on my machine. And I've already run everything just so we save time, but you can see here that it is currently running. So, and here on this landing page, there's more info on the sensors that I'm using, so on and so forth, as well as the latest readings, pulling it up from the spreadsheet I've shown you. And here we can ask the plant some questions. So I will begin by saying, hi, who are you? And yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. I hope we have enough time here to at least show another superpower of this little app here, which is actually one of the features of Pandas AI, which is the creation of plots based on the data itself. But let's just get a feel of who is being talked to. While it's running, it's worth mentioning that yeah, this work relates to this idea of using AI as avatars for non-human entities. It's something that I've been considering quite heavily lately, especially in the context of the rights of nature movement, which has been fighting for the legal recognition of non-human entities as yeah, beings who are rightful, right? Even for court cases, so on and so forth. So, hello, I'm a cannabis plant, and you can call me by name you like. Okay. Perceives the surroundings through the data, providing the data set, information about various sensors, and then it tells a little bit of what are the sensors again. So I'll just say, okay, I'm probably at the end of my time, so please plot me how your sense or your roots conductivity change in respect to the temperature. And let's see what happens. Let me see how I'm doing with time. Oh, no warnings yet, so I have a few moments. And also further improvements on this, it's having this connected to an actual database. So I've set up a MySQL database, and so that's gonna come up soon. Okay, it's kind of like hallucinating. It seems. Oh no, it did. Okay. There it is. It also tells us a lot about the plot. Yeah, no, it's actually sort of like explaining the plot. On the other hand, if you know an opposite trend, and kind of like telling you how to read the plot, and also giving other sort of further analysis to work with the humidity, pressure, and gas levels. And this is actually the plot. I mean, you have to trust me on this, but I've plotted it before. It is fuzzy data, and main reason why I've developed this is that I actually want help to make sense of this data that I'm getting, especially the roots conductivity sensor part. It's very experimental, so I do hope to AI what's going on and not having it done as if it were the plan itself. Yeah, thanks.
This is amazing. This is incredible. We'll let you go long because it's such a wild project. Do you have you read The Secret Life of Plants? Do you know this book? This concept?
It was what got me started on this. I kid you not.
Okay. Absolutely.
It's literally how, like, after I read that, I was like, how can I get hold of a lie detector? And then I started working with Arduino to do my own, and here we are.
Wow, it's amazing. This is amazing. So I mean, it also seems like ripe for Neopets, or like, you know, a real life pet. Like, buy this thing and then treat your plant like a pet and have interactions with it. I mean, I honestly, this has like wild commercial applications. Do you have aspirations
That's the path,
for that?
yeah.
Is this a startup?
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. It's we're doing this on the context of Sympoiesis. I can put it on the chat here, which is a very emerging guild of researchers around interspecies interfaces, and having this as a market ready product. It's on the roadmap for, I mean, a bit of beta version for this year. Yeah.
Amazing. That's incredible, man. This is so cool. Does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, I'll slam them with questions, but I'm sure. Yeah, Sam.
Have you seen the project FarmBot? It's
No.
It's a 7 or 8 years old project of doing your own farm, and it's a machine that it's like a 3D printer that keeps everything on like it grows your farm. It's open source, and probably it's a good connection with this other project, because FarmBot do not use AI yet. So maybe, and because it's open source, maybe it's a good fit for your project. It's really cool. Check it out in the internet. It's farm.bot, and the video there it explains everything.
And Kai, I think you had a question, right? I saw you unmuted.
No, yeah, that was because of unfamiliarity. I can say something. I know somebody who has a farm bot, Roberto Valenti. If you ever meet him, he's probably in Barcelona at East Barcelona. Chat him up. He has a farm bot.
That's cool. Well, any other questions for Danilo? How do I invest? No, that's my question. How do we get in on this? This is going to be amazing. This is going to be amazing. Thank you, Danilo, for giving us this crazy alpha. This is such a cool project. But now we have a couple of team projects, and since we have some time, maybe I'll give Kai and Moshahab. Is Moshahab here? No? Okay, cool. Well, Kai, you can take it away. I'm going to give you 6 minutes.
It's fine. I didn't want to totally blow it off, but we did not manage to do anything as a team, unfortunately, because of lots of work and a holiday that's currently on in the Arabic world. Still, I try to hack something together. Just a very little thing. I mean, we threw some ideas around, and I did so. I always try with every AI hackathon we make to fulfill this idea of like thinking really long about it, and then like having a great prompt or something, and then it just builds itself. Well, yeah, like last time, that's not totally how it works. Let's see, how do I share my screen here? Okay. Yeah, it only wants to do the whole screen. Let's do the whole screen. All right, does it work? Can you see my screen? Okay, I take that as a yes. So chains, huh? I really wanted to look into LangChain this time, but like I said, like I ran out of time. Like it's a huge beast. There are so many things you can do with it. Why? Because we at DevOps and like the goal I think of this hackathon was to find something that helps you in your daily work. So as DevOps, we love automation, and AI is perfect for automation and like the little things in between. I did build a chatbot with some like some pipelining last time. I wanted to build something different for this time because like the tools are updated. LangChain got a lot better, and there is more stuff. There's a LangChain JS now, so we could even deploy this the whole thing because it's a bit complex, and Python is like I'm learning, but it's not my forte yet. That I'm very happy to found JavaScript, and also what we saw before, I think in the first, like Rohan showed off Langflow, which is something that I wanted to show off, which was like my rain check presentation, I thought. But yeah, I think you probably built something way cooler. So Langflow is a really easy install. It's 2 commands, and then you run a web UI that has LangChain enabled, and you have a node-based interface where you can construct your chain. And the chain is able to have agents that can, send stuff here and there. What I tried to do here, I failed. I mean, let's try. It does not even know. See, it doesn't know what Giveth is, although it's GPT 3.5 Turbo. I did something wrong. What I did was I dumped the Giveth forum and I tried to get it in here somehow. I have to talk to Sam about this. I should have before, but I tried to do it myself. So data preparation did not work. The rest should work. Like if I put a different CSV here, like this one that got generated by ChatGPT, it's probably taking too long, but this would work, So is it also a CSV file like from a JSON compiled crazy stuff. There is one more thing I want to highlight, which is really so chattable forum. That was like the goal, to have all the data in the forum in one chatbot. That's easy to, just an experiment, and easy to Q&A about certain things. Giveth. I wanted to highlight function calling. I don't know if anybody did anything with function calling. It's pretty new and it's pretty neat. What it does is like it formats the output basically to like these reliable JSON objects, and even it can even construct functions by itself just from a prompt, which sounds a bit crazy. I wanted to show you here how this works. But yeah, this is just like from somebody else, so I didn't make this, but maybe it helps to clear up. I tried to do this differently, so it would. I tried to make my own prompt here. It didn't work. Yeah, but what it does is here this gets a list of bash commands as really just the commands that can be easily parsed. If you ask this to ChatGPT, you will get a long answer, a short answer. If you use the function call, you will always get like a JSON object with the answer. That's always the same. And this will enable deploy from prompt, which is awesome, which we'll build for some upcoming AI hackathon where we say, hey, lovely chatbot, I want to deploy this from our stack with this, and it will go and deploy. I mean, if we don't build it, somebody will, but that's it. And that's all I have. Are you still here?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so cool. So wait, but just to clarify, so did Mo Shahab do anything on your team?
I mean, he's always an emotional support to me, and we did do some exploration together, like ideas what we should do, and yeah, it's a shame. We will do it next time as a team. So
Yes.
I guess that disqualifies us also as a team, but
Yes, it
yeah.
does. That's okay. That's okay. The cookie crumbles sometimes like this,
Yeah.
Does anyone have a question for Kai?
Yeah, I just want to say sorry for taking your idea away.
Yeah, I mean, and you're the much better coder. You should have stayed in the Google collab where it's like, nah, it's fine. Thank you. And it's really a cool tool. It's great if many people, in our community get familiar with it. And I mainly wanted to show it off because I also think that it is a bit easier to work with, although there's still room. Like it's still not so easy to work
What
with.
about this function calling seemed really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about function calling? Help us dive deeper into that. It's a little beyond my bandwidth.
I mean, maybe Sam, you can give a better TLDR than I can.
I really like the Langflow UI. It's the first time that I saw it in this hackathon. I think that all the tools that we were working as developers now are accessible for normal people, let's say. It's way better than the ChatGPT plugins because it's you are not constrained to ChatGPT UI. It's a huge community of developers who can add extra things such as the ChromaDB. It is really interesting, and I hope that people can jump in the next iterations of the hackathon as non-devs using this kind of tools.
And what about?
I can give you an example, Griff. Like I saw this YouTuber build something. He didn't use DeFi Llama. It was like a conventional stock, whatever. But what you could do is like you get from DeFi Llama like the whatever the top performers of the last week, and then you correlate that with another like search about news about those project names, and let all those save to your Google Sheet that you just consult instead of like getting the normal crypto news that you like. So that's an easy example for you tailored crypto things, and the possibilities are endless. All APIs are supported basically.
Yeah, in regards of the function things, it was already possible with LangChain. The only change that there is right now is that now that it's into the OpenAI API, it's more reliable, maybe even cheaper. But
And
it's
what has not been mentioned is that to really make it work well, you let the LLM suggest the function that you run, that the application run, and then you give the large language model the response from the function called back, and then you can have this back and forth in interaction where it runs more commands based on the responses from the last command, thereby actually building a chain of commands.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, even though Kai, you're being so self-deprecating about your project, it was epic, and I learned a lot. So, and I think everyone did. So let's give Kai a round of applause.
It does not know what Giveth is.
Thank you, Kai. Thank you so much. Well, Max, Hadar, you guys get to finish us off. I'm going to put 6 minutes on the clock, and you guys can present, and then we'll have some time for questions afterwards.
Sure. Can you hear me well? Hope you do. So, yeah, I'm presenting kind of something more from the ideathon perspective, I could say. It's a concept of the data union. So, as you may know, we did a Holland conference on the intersection of Web3 and AI. And I was obviously processing some personal data with registrations, so I needed to do it manually. I was just identifying the key concepts people were working on or wanted to talk about. And in general, the ideas went around data markets, labor markets, digital cooperatives, DAOs, reputation, coordination, those kind of stuff. And also on one of the sessions, we did this prioritization of different use cases for community governance. And there were a bunch of ideas, but also matchmaking and reputation is something we're interested to see they are working a lot with. So this is like a pretext. The idea of data union just kept appearing through few conversations. And we had this dedicated time to, with these people to design how a data union might look like, how it will work, and how to monetize. We initially thought a trusted seed can be a small demo community, but then we also have Good Dollar, which has 100K active users monthly. And also the potential stack of partners that work in those directions. There's already something called Data Union, which processes the data on Ocean Protocol. There is vData Nation that collects, lots of pieces of social data on requests from the users. So that's already something to build on top of. But why do you need Data Union at all? Of course, all the AI models need some good data. Specifically, we look into things that will allow building better partnerships, community intelligence, knowledge graphs, and so on for different kind of people, businesses, AI agents, and so on. And from the perspective of the data producers, the people, again, they currently can give you data, but under GDPR or something, and then they won't be so happy if you would take all the results of this work. So in general, data union can be a way to share data, still owning it, preserving privacy, monetizing, even creating some kind of UPI inside of a network. And yeah, of course, collaboration, democratization, and data. And we can start with the communities I mentioned, but then can be city, country, local communities. So when we have this data, we can give different type of requests, who are the best experts in AI token engineering in the Giveth Galaxy or something. It can give a nice result based on their personal data, lots of data points, from personal Twitter or like this registration forms, like maybe even some on-chain data without like with preserving privacy to which is your wallet address. And yeah, there's a lot of work that's needed to be done around that economy as well, not just uploading, but there's also potential work around enriching this data. So we can even create some kind of labor market for like labeling or something. And governance of this data is, of course, important. But yeah, in general, it will lead to better social alignment, solidarity, gift economy, pro-social, pro-ecology directions. Of course, there are some costs, but the revenue model can go with, of course, we can start with some kind of grants. We like already look forward to have some team to try it with. And the best model probably would be the percentage of revenues. So if we kind of partner with some application that would work on that, ideally it will like distribute some part of the revenue received. And as an example of good dollar might be used for the payments. Yeah, so this is the quick brief of what we're thinking about. Curious to hear your questions.
Wow, that's super cool. Well, what did you use AI to do in this project?
Well, I used my intelligence to process the initial data, but of course it can be automated with AI semantics. And also I would kind of position it more of the like a prerequisite for AI, because we've seen some nice models. Guys shows like how you can make an input, but the problem is how do you provide this valid data for the input and create the economy around AIs.
Okay, so really the goal is like to use data from maybe good dollar users or trusted seed members to feed into the AI. So
to make AI more decentralized, because we discussed like one of the problems is currently many of us use OpenAI like API, but let's say something happens and it stops or it becomes too expensive and so on. So how do we deal about it?
Very cool. Is matchmaking, do you have like a primary use case that you're looking at? Like is matchmaking the first use case? Like, oh, hey, we can find open positions for jobs, and if you put your data in there, you'll get a percentage of the fee or something?
Yeah, of course, because currently like community managers and stewards just doing it manually, which is maybe like the best quality, but over time, it might be a wide use service. And again, this won't bring millions straight away, but this is the first case where people could pay for something or see value in it, even if it be like microtransactions. And then the data union becomes more and more sustainable to build forward.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Does anyone else have any questions for Max? Do you have another use case like besides matchmaking?
Yeah, there's a number. Like in general, there was also this piece of insight from the like we spoke with Aragon about this mapping. Do you know this like maps of like logotypes, like who's in the ecosystem, like ReFi ecosystem or something, and they usually put logos. Like first of all, it's not the best useful thing to kind of see and go and check this, guys, and also they become really outdated fast. So, and like it's really hard to maintain them. Again, it's a bit close to what Christopher shown, but also like the problem is how do you keep it relevant with constant update of data? So like for partnership strategies, investment strategies, finding out the gaps in some niches, those kind of use cases are also interesting.
That's very interesting. So really just organizing any kind of data into something useful. Super cool. Super. Well, let's give Max a round of applause. How do we get paid by donating our data to the AI overlords? That'll be nice when we're enslaved. Anyway, thank you all for coming to AI June. This was incredible. I also want to announce the winners of the non-coders, kind of quick little alpha, because I haven't put it in the chat yet. But the winners are chosen. So Yanesi actually is our bronze winning champion. So she's gonna win some cash for her presentation, which was super cool, about using video editing software to make some cool stuff. And then also Monique is gonna get the silver prize for building kind of a project management AI bot. So that's super cool. And something to like be his own personal assistant around product and project management. Lauren's incredible work also is going to get second place for she made some really cool presentation about how to use AI to make beautiful things. And then Gil, of course, Gil gets the gold again with his just rapid fire number of tools. It was impossible to compete with. I mean, Gil's just like bringing so much information. If you guys missed any of those presentations, like go check out AI June Part 1 and AI June Part 2. There's lots of amazing things to talk about, and this one was incredible too. So thank you all for coming to AI June Part 3. We'll see you tomorrow for Part 4, the final episode.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.